declaration, daily excited declaration is this. You start feeling that, look, oh, the honest truth is that I'm not feeling fine. Why should I go and be telling people I am 100 over 100 if I'm not feeling fine? That is hypocrisy. That is not being true to myself. That means somebody who would have wanted to help me won't help me. If I go and say I'm 100 over 100 and I meet my destiny helper, and because I'm 100 over 100, they will deny me. Is that not common sense? That is common sense. So let me just say it as it is. My brother, I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Guys, I understand you. I understand you 100%. I understand the fact that you're struggling. I understand the fact that it's not been easy. But here's the challenge. The challenge, unfortunately, is that the challenge is in the bid to explain how I'm feeling, what is in my current experience, I will continue to call forth my current experience over and over and over. Have you not realized that that same person that comes to your church or comes to your mosque that begged you for money, I don't have anything to eat, how come they are still begging for money today? Guys, let's think. Let's think about this thing, please, deeply. I beg of you. Detach yourself, objectively think about this. That same lady that kept on complaining about, I don't have a house, I need to pay house rent, children's school fees. How come is it? Guys, this is not funny. It isn't. Someone I hadn't seen for almost 10 years. When the last time I saw him in church, this guy was always on people's neck, not only the people I know, different people soliciting for fund here and there, soliciting for fund here and there. Help me, my family, my children. And we're going to the same church. He's not a voodoo worshiper. This guy is not a voodoo worshiper. He was even a worker in church, right? But 10 years later, during my baby's naming ceremony, this guy has not been around. I've not seen him for approximately 10 years. Let's say, okay, no, not as much as 10 years. I think it was, I'm approximating it, but I think it was 8 years plus. It's been 8 years. I've not seen this guy, right? 8 solid years. Let me not approximate it to 10 years. Let me call it as it is. I think, no, it's even less than 8 years. I think 7 years plus, right? 7 years plus. I hadn't seen him. My baby's dedication. And he appears after the dedication. He appears and says, congratulations. God has finally done it. Congratulations. I am happy for you. I'm happy for you. Say, fine. Say, I want to see you. Can I see you? And I looked at him. I said, okay, all right. He said, okay, there's something I want to share with you. Can I get your number? I don't have your number again. So I gladly gave him my number. I mean, 7 years is a lot of time for good testimony to come out. 7 years. Even if it's 6 years, even if it's 5 years, even if it's 4 years, 4 years can change a man's life, right? So 7 years was literally a long enough time for somebody's life to change. And then, I saw him. I was expecting that at least a miracle must have happened. Picked my number. Next morning, I got a message. Please, sir, my family is really struggling. I've been going through a lot. Please, when I saw it, I lost it. I picked my phone, I responded. I said, this is 100% wrong. I called his name. I said, you don't meet me after 7 years, and the first thing you're doing as a communication is a request. You don't do that. You don't do that. I was even thinking that you wanted to call me and say, okay, this is something I want to send for the children. You don't do that. Guys, 7 years. Does it mean he has not been working? He has been working. He's been trying different things. But what was the problem? How can he be the only one that life is killing and destroying? How is it possible that this guy, I knew him 7 years ago as a beggar in church. 7 years later, I'm seeing him begging, literally. I was pissed off. Then I calmed down. I said, calm down, calm down, calm down. I sent him the message though, and then he stopped. He hasn't called me till today, right? But has he stopped begging? I guarantee you he hasn't. Do you know why? Because the more he begs, the more he is speaking into his future, into the firmament, and the things he speaks of continues to be his reality. Yeah. And this is just one person I know up close. You may know some people like that. You might be even one of those. Are you struggling in this business? Oh, yes. Then think about it. So something you could do wrong. So in the light of this, please, this is just one example. There are thousands of examples I can give. To me personally, there are tens of examples I can give you, including myself. Until I changed the words I spoke, my life remained the same. It is not village people, ladies and gentlemen, and it is natural occurrence. Natural in the sense that I want to tell people what I'm going through so that they can help me. But in telling people what I'm going through, I am reinforcing what I'm going through. I am calling forth more of the things that I'm going through, and I will continue to go through hardship over and over again, no matter what I do, even if they give me large sums of money. Somehow that money would finish because I've already called forth obiam. I've already called forth poverty. I've already called forth lack. So that much they give me, somehow it will disappear. And I'll go back to that lack. Do you understand, guys? It's very important because some of you, I've been seeing you guys, you've been struggling for the past 6 months, 1 year, for some of you 4 months. It shouldn't be so. Check what you say. And that is why I say every single morning, how are you? I'm 100 of 100. Be excited and say that. And like joke, like a joke, like a joke, like a joke. Every morning I'm excited. Every morning, 100 of 100. Every morning I am super in a good mood. Every morning, like a joke, like a joke. Every morning, you now become excited. Every morning, 100 of 100. Everything will begin to work together for your good so that you'll be more excited. Every morning, things will begin to work together for your good so that your life will be 100 over 100. Every morning, things will begin to blend because you're calling it forth. You're calling it forth. It's not how you feel. It's not your circumstances that should determine your future. It is what you speak that should determine your future, especially when you speak by faith. Did you guys understand that? Did you guys understand that? Very important. And this is our creed, guys. And that is why we give our declaration every morning. That it will put us into that effect. But with this little understanding, it will help you guys. I'm telling you, it helped me. And if you don't implement it, you'll not be wondering, why am I having near success syndrome? Why are all these things happening to you? Today, you know, and you can change it. Now we're going to go back to fundamental basics. We're going to go back to fundamentals in 30 minutes. I'm going to play you a video that will blow your mind. All right. It's an audio video, so you have to listen. But please bring out your pen and paper. Bring out your what? Your pen and your paper. We are entering into a class. So you have to listen 100%, okay? So I'm going to play this by Earl Nightingale. It's one of his great videos that have touched me to, you see, anytime you listen to people, try your best, very best to understand the principle attached to whatever they are saying, okay? All right, so we're going to go into this. Get your pen and paper ready. All right, it's just less than 30, approximately 30 minutes, and I'll come and conclude. All right.
Special privilege, and I'll do my best in this short space of time to pass along to you a distillation of more. So making this record is a special privilege, and I'll do my best in this short space of time to pass along to you a distillation of more than 20 years of research on why some people seem to do so well in life while others do not. This information has changed my life and the lives of thousands of others who have made the same discovery, and I sincerely hope it will have a happy and profitable effect upon yours. I hope that whenever you listen to this record, you will do so with a notebook handy. We seem to forget the spoken word quickly, and only by repeated playings in the home, without distractions, can this information become a permanent part of your way of life. To begin, I would like you to remember this. Successful people are not people without problems. They have, as a rule, just as many problems and largely the same kind as everyone else. The difference is that they learn to solve their problems. Successful living is nothing more than the ability to solve successfully the problems which are as much a part of living as breathing. The degree of our success will be determined by the extent to which we can solve our problems. So now that we've defined the problem, let me make this statement. If you can tell me what you want, I can tell you how to get it. The problem with the great majority of individuals is not with their ability to achieve their goals in life, but rather with the failure to understand two factors vital to successful living. The first is to make the decision as to what it is we want enough to give it most of our attention until it's been achieved, and to clearly define it. And the second is to fully understand that we have the ability to achieve this goal or we wouldn't want it in the first place. The next vital rule to successful living is to understand that our success is won or lost by our ability to serve others. We are interdependent, and it's just as impossible to succeed without serving others as it would be to live in our modern world without others serving us. Our rewards in life will and must always be in exact proportion to our service. It is the misunderstanding of this single law which, in my mind, is responsible for fully 90% of the frustration and discontent we see around us. In your mind's eye, get a picture of a giant apothecary scale, the kind with the cross arm from which hang two large bowls on chains. One of the bowls is marked rewards, the other service. These bowls will always be in perfect balance. Now, a lot of people don't like this law, if they're even aware of it, but not liking a law does nothing to change it. The basic laws of nature and economics are unchanging. If we're out of step with them, we are, as Thomas Huxley put it, checkmated, without haste, but without remorse. But to those who know and work with the laws, he said, they are paid with the overflowing sort of generosity with which the strong delight in strength. Now, there are two kinds of rewards, or income. One is psychic, the other is real, or tangible, such as money or property. If a person doesn't like his income, all he has to do is take a good long look at his service. The fact that the many individuals in the fields of science, religion, teaching, and so on must measure most of their rewards in the realm of the psychic does nothing to alter the fact that their rewards will be in exact proportion to their service. Look where you will find this law in undeviating operation. Our rewards will always be in exact proportion to our service. Good examples of this are World Book and Childcraft. The fact that your company is the world's largest publisher of reference material is based solely on the fact that its products have found the widest acceptance and have been sold to more individuals and institutions. This is the law, then, that lies as the supporting structure of economics and personal well-being, so fix it in your mind. All attempts to sidestep or in any way avoid this law will result in frustration and failure. So this brings up the question, if what I want is more than I now have, how can I increase my service in order to earn it? Well, whom do we serve? We serve people. So let's take a moment to try to understand people. The more we understand them, the better we can serve them. I think of an adult human being as a grown child, doing his best to play for the first and last time on earth this game called life. The extent to which he learns the rules of this mighty game will determine his success. But right here we run into an historic and exasperating fact. People down through the centuries have, with the most amazing consistency, divided themselves into two groups. One group contains about 5% of any given population. The other group contains the remaining 95%. Neither of these two groups is any better than the other. But one thing separates them. The big group, the one containing about 95% of the people, never seems to get the word, while the smaller group, the 5%, does. Now, what do I mean by getting the word? I mean about 95% of the people never quite understand, emotionally or intellectually, that we as individuals control, to an altogether unsuspected extent, our lives here on Earth. That each one of us is the architect of the structure fashioned by our years. You see, all of us want the same things, but only about 5% figures out how to get them. I think it's perfectly stated in your World Book booklet titled Opportunity Unlimited. It says, within each of us burn two unquenchable ambitions, to serve importantly and to gain financial independence. Both of these worthwhile goals are within the reach of all of us, man or woman, but according to statistics, only about 5% achieve both of them. Why? Let's look at it logically. Every human being has a tendency to think, act, and talk like those by whom he is surrounded. This is environment, and it exercises an enormous influence on our lives. We've already pointed out that 95% don't seem to get the word in life. Then it follows that in the case of any given individual, the odds are 95 to 5 that he is surrounded by the larger group. And since a body in motion tends to remain in motion until acted upon by an outside force, that he will continue to conform to his group unless we can do a better job of serving him through knowledge. Here is our largest opportunity for service, and the rewards will take care of themselves. Here, let me restate what we've covered so far. Our rewards, psychic and tangible, will be in proportion to our service. The failure of most people to live successfully is not caused by their lack of abilities, far from it, but rather in their failure to decide what it is they want, and understanding that our wants are governed by our talents and abilities, and that we are divided into two groups of roughly 5% and 95%, and that it's the 5% group which is successful. So here, let me give you a definition of success which, to my mind, covers the subject completely. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That is, anyone who knows where he is going in life is a success. At the moment he makes the decision of what it is he intends to accomplish, of what it is he considers a worthy ideal, he is successful. Once this goal has been accomplished, he is again, by our definition, a failure, until he establishes a new goal toward which to work. To my mind, this is what we as human beings were intended to do, to go through life from one achievement to another, and to finally come to the end of our road here on Earth, still reaching, still working toward a new and better plateau on which to stand. For this is to live and live completely, to know as much as we can know, to serve as much as we can serve, to accomplish as much as we can accomplish. Well, since success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, why are we faced with only 5% who can be called really successful? Because the best estimates available tell us that only about 5% will ever decide upon and define the one thing they want. One thing, because we can only do one thing at a time. To my mind, the story of a person's life is the story of a quest, a search to which he devotes his life. We know that the happiest people on earth are those who know exactly what it is they seek and set boldly out to find it. And while we're all dreamers, the fortunate ones are those who have found a dream so exciting and worthwhile that they'll devote a part or all of their lives to making that dream come true. But while all dream, by far the great majority, that 95%, never realizes that a persistent daydream is often the point on which we should set our compass, the place toward which it is meant for us to journey. The tragedy is that the great majority shrugs off this built-in direction finder and returns to the wide, visible, well-marked road in life which they feel must be the best road because it carries the heaviest traffic. Well, let's make this point clear. The road in life with the heaviest traffic is not the best road to follow, for it is the road of the 95%. It is the road with no more opportunity and with 19 times as much competition. Let me very briefly tell you how I got started on this business of making a study of people and why they wind up the way they do. I spent nearly 20 years looking for the secret to achievement. I didn't know it was older than the pyramids and had appeared in more than 50 million books. It started in 1933 during the last Depression for me. I was bothered by the difference that existed between what I had been told and what I could see around me. For example, I had been told that man was God's noblest creature and had dominion over all the earth and all its other creatures. I knew this was true, but in my neighborhood the creatures were eating better than we were, and I wanted to know why so many were poor when there was such abundance on the earth. They had no money, but there was still as much as there had been a few years before. Where it had gone? They had little education, yet education was on every side of them. They had very little food, yet it was raised in abundance. They lived in inadequate and ugly dwellings, yet there were good homes for sale. Well, it was apparent to me that these people didn't have the answer to the problem. They were good people, but they didn't have the answers. Here were people who were discouraged and confused in a world which should have been filled with challenge and excitement. It's true that we were in a period of general depression, but to the thinking individual, this represents another problem to be solved, another challenge to overcome. And to many, it was the thing that sparked their greatest accomplishments. I remember reading something once about discouragement. It was a fable about a devil's sale, and he had his many wares on display. There was the rapier of jealousy, the dagger of fear, the strangling noose of hatred, each with its high price. But on a purple pedestal, gleaming dully in the light, was a worn and battered wedge. This was the devil's most prized possession, and it was not for sale, for with it alone he could stay in business. It was the wedge of discouragement. Well, as I remember it, the people in my neighborhood were a pretty discouraged lot. Now, discouragement can only come from one of two things. One, a lack of information, or two, a situation over which we can exercise no control. It is very seldom that we're faced with number two. Almost all discouragement can be traced to a lack of information. If you find yourself falling from the top of a high building, you could justify discouragement, but it can be traced to your having made the fatal step, and that was a lack of information about the law of gravity. When I asked these people why we were in the fix we were in, they did a very human thing. They blamed other people. They looked everywhere for the answer except where it really was, within themselves. These were the 95%. And I decided to find out just what it was that separated the haves from the have-nots, not just in a financial sense, but in every sense. I found the answers in books written by great men. I found the answer in the Bible. Why didn't these people of whom I speak know the answers? They didn't read good books. They didn't read the Bible. Everyone owned one because it was fashionable, like a set of Shakespeare, but they didn't read that either. They were discouraged because they lacked information. They didn't know the rules of this game called life, and they had been checkmated, without haste, but without remorse. They didn't realize that without a goal, an aiming point, we're without purpose or direction. They clung together, feeling somehow that there was safety in numbers, without realizing that in this case, just the opposite is true. They didn't know that if we conform to the big group, the odds are 95 to 5 that we'll miss the boat in life in almost every vital and important aspect of living. To prove this, you need only take a look at human history. Of all the billions of human beings who've lived on Earth, all great advances, all great ideas have come from just a handful, a few thousand out of billions. Now, how have the people as a group reacted to the great ideas? Every great leader and thinker, from Socrates to the Wright brothers, has been scorned, ridiculed, poisoned, imprisoned, stoned, pilloried, burned at the stake, or crucified. Mankind as a group has made a consistently grisly game of tormenting his saviors. Why? Lack of information, lack of knowledge. It comes from following the wrong crowd. What can we learn from all this as individuals? Two things. One, to amount to anything as individuals, we've got to be individuals. We've got to have individual goals, individual thinking, individual action. And two, we must never conform to the great mass of people. We must love them, help them, for our joy and success will be determined by the extent to which we serve them. But we must never lose our individuality and identity by permitting ourselves to be submerged in this suffocating sea of indirection and purposelessness. There's nothing wrong with emulation. In fact, it's a good idea, so long as we emulate a person who represents that which we wish to become, but never the crowd, never the 95%. And you know what the answer was, the secret to achievement that I had devoted nearly 20 years to finding? Its pure simplicity had caused it to elude me, just as it manages to elude the majority of the people in any given age. I had been looking for something complicated, something only a mind prepared by years of study could grasp, and I found the answer so simple a child can understand it. In 6 words, we are what we think about. Our minds, our thinking, controls our destinies here on Earth to a degree totally unsuspected by the great majority of people. When you think about it a moment, it becomes so obvious, so clear and simple. Well then, if we become what we think about, and if we can control our minds, we can pretty well tell our own future. And that's the point I want to make. That's what I meant when I said earlier that each one of us is the architect of the structure fashioned by our years. This means that if we're confused about what we wish to become or accomplish, our lives, our environment will mirror that confusion. It also means that if we know what it is we seek, that it must be accomplished. Barring an act of God or a catastrophe over which we have no control, we as individuals can call our own shots for the rest of our lives. We can know what it means to go through life from one success to another, to play life according to the rules and reap the rewards. We can know what it means to have peace of mind and live calm, cheerful, successful lives. You are at this moment the sum total of your thoughts to this point, for there is nothing else you can be. And 5 years from now, you can be and have anything you set your entire mind and heart upon. Turn this record over now, and let me tell you of a way you can use this law to accomplish more in 5 years than the average person does in 40. Succeeding in life has always been a matter of doing that which the great majority does not do. Now let's keep this in mind as we get into this business of goals. It isn't that I want to make an invidious comparison between the 5% and the 95%, not at all. That's just the way it is. And if we don't recognize it, it will be to our cost. At the beginning of this record, I made the statement, if you can tell me what you want, I can tell you how to get it. You see, the trick is not in achieving our goals, it is in establishing them. A ship would never leave a harbor if it did not have a destination. An industrial plant would never open its gates if it did not have a product or a purpose. Football would not be played without goalposts, nor would baseball without a home plate. Every business operates for a purpose. Every game has a reason. Getting back to the analogy of our ship, if you were to climb to the navigation bridge and ask the captain the name and location of his next port of call, he would tell you immediately. There's not the slightest doubt in his mind. Can you tell anyone your destination just as quickly and in one sentence? The captain of the ship knows that he can arrive at only one port at a time. He knows that it's impossible to arrive at 2. Do you know that? He also knows that his destination will be invisible for fully 99% of his voyage, but he knows it's there, and that he'll reach it, barring an unforeseen catastrophe, if he will just keep doing certain things a certain way every day. One fine morning his destination will appear on the horizon. He'll sail into port, his voyage successfully completed. When his business has been accomplished, he'll then sail to another predetermined port of call, and this will take him and his ship from one success to another for the rest of both of their lives. By understanding that he can reach only one port at a time, the owner of a ship can, in the short space of a very few years, reach hundreds of ports successfully. There'll be problems, lots of them, but they'll be solved, and the ship will steam its solitary course over the deep oceans of the world, devoting its life to accomplishing its mission and contributing its share to the welfare and economy of the world. Men and women who follow this sensible, obvious, and meaningful way of life will do the same. But the paradox is that most are like ships without rudders. They're subject to the whims of wind and tide, And while they hope they'll one day arrive in a rich and bustling port, you and I know that for every narrow harbor entrance, there's 1,000 miles of treacherous and rocky coastline. The chances of their just drifting into port are 1,000 to 1 against them. These are the unfortunate people who, not knowing the rules, believe that circumstance controls our lives. They believe in luck and superstitions, fate, the breaks. They believe that success comes as the result of who you know, not what you know. And while they cling to their false alibis, life passes them by, for the rules of life are just, and they are checkmated, without haste, but without remorse. Now, what about you? Remembering that the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, what's the ideal toward which you are working, now, today, yesterday, and tomorrow? Can you write it in one sentence? Is your goal sharply and clearly defined? Now, for a moment, let's return to the message in your booklet, Opportunity Unlimited. It reads, "Within each of us burn 2 unquenchable ambitions, to serve importantly and to gain financial independence." The first of these 2 desirable goals you've already achieved by being in the World Book Childcraft Organization. Now let's take a look at the second ambition, financial independence. I mentioned on the first side of this record that I could tell you how you could be and have anything you set your mind on in 5 years. To better understand this, you must examine one of the most overlooked facts in the world. It is that every job, no matter what it may be, holds somewhere within itself the key to everything we want in life, the key to greatness. But we must look for it, and we must think. Since only about 5% make the grade, we must place ourselves in this percentage group. We can do this by making 2 decisions. The first is to decide once and for all that this is what you're going to do for a living, that this is going to be your career, since its opportunities are unlimited and it's constantly growing with our dynamic economy and our exploding population. In the past 13 years, World Book sales have increased 800%, and even this enormous volume is expected to double in the next 5 years or less. I think you can easily see that by being in this business now, your future is unlimited in this organization, both from a career and economic standpoint. It is being undecided, uncommitted about what we're going to do that keeps us from doing our best. We're working with one hand and looking around with the other. As a result, we do neither satisfactorily. And remember, this work contains within it the road to greatness, the key to anything you want for yourself and your family. Hundreds of people have already proved this in the last few years, so make the decision once and for all. Once this has been made, you'll feel as though a weight has been lifted from your mind. Perhaps for the first time in your life, you'll know where you are in the world. You know you have a place where you can serve, where you're needed and respected, where what you're doing is important. Once this decision has been made, we come to the second. Decide to become a professional at your business. You see, we can either compete or create. If we compete with all the other people in our line of work, we must be willing to accept the same rewards. If that's what we want, fine. But if we want to become professionals at what we do, then we must create. And when we begin to do this, there's no limit to that which we can achieve. We hear a lot these days about a word called security. Everyone wants security, but not 1 in 10 can tell you what it is. Most people will tell you that security rests with a job. This is impossible. There is no such thing as a job that represents security. Anyone with a job can lose it for any one of 1,000 reasons at any time. Those people I saw back in 1933, demoralized and afraid, thought that a job represented security. And when it had been taken from them, they had lost everything. They found themselves lost in a world they didn't understand. No, a job cannot represent security. There is only one place on earth you can find security, and if it isn't there, it isn't anywhere. It's inside of a person, never outside. If a man has security inside, where it belongs, his wife and children can feel it when he sits down to eat with them, and they're warmed by it. If a man has security inside, where it belongs, you can see it walking down the street, and you can feel it when he enters a room. That's security, and you can't take it away from him. You can take away his money, his home, everything but a wife who's willing to start over, and most of them are, and drop him anywhere in the country. Go back in a year, and he'll be doing just as well as when you found him the first time. You can't keep a good man down, no matter what you do to him. Like cream on milk, You can shake it all day, but just set it down for a while and it'll bounce right to the top again. This man or this woman has security where it belongs. And do you know where it comes from? It comes from doing what we do for a living surpassingly well. It comes from being a pro in a world of amateurs. Becoming a pro isn't difficult. It comes from knowing what to do with time. It comes from knowledge, planning, and working. First, knowledge. This means learning everything we can about what we sell, about World Book, Childcraft, and our sales material. Learning everything we can about people, since that's who we sell, and learning everything we can about selling, since that's our profession. What we sell, who we sell, and how to sell. Those three subjects would fill a large library, but we can take things one at a time, and by devoting an hour a day to study, we can become outstanding professionals in 5 years or less. And it's the professionals in this business who can write their own tickets, good times or bad. They can live where they choose, and being professionals, work when they choose. Second, planning. This means writing down the specific goal we're now working toward. It means writing in detail about the first port of call we want to reach, realizing that we can only reach one at a time. It means selecting the income we feel will represent financial independence to us. Once this has been selected, we know exactly what we must do in order to reach it. As soon as our first goal has been reached, we can set a new one. The person who does this is the person people call lucky. Good things just seem to happen to him. The so-called breaks start coming his way. But it's a result of planning and working positively that attracts the good things to us. I can't emphasize too much the importance of describing your goal in detail. If it's a beautiful new home, get the actual plans, or at least an elevation drawing of the home, and carry it with you so that you can look at it regularly. If it's a certain amount of money, write down the specific amount for the coming year to the penny, and then work your plan. Whatever your goal may be, write it down in detail. Then you're like this ship. You're on course, and you reach more successful ports in a few years than most men do in a lifetime. And third, working. Working more than the average, if we're going to achieve more than average results, is necessary, of course. But with proper planning and with knowledge, it seems easy. Moreover, to work, we need energy, and energy is inextricably linked to desire. Unless we have a desire to do a certain thing, we find ourselves without the energy. But you will never find desire without energy. Once our goal has been crystallized in our minds and we realize that we become what we think about, our doubts vanish as to whether or not we can achieve our desired ends, and with the picture of our dream in our mind, we have abundant energy. Let me quote from William James' essay on vital reserves. Compared with what we ought to be, we're only half awake. Our fires are damped. Our drafts are checked. We're making use of only a small part of our possible mental and physical resources. Stating the thing broadly, the human individual thus lives usually far within his limits. He possesses powers of various sorts which he habitually fails to use. He energizes below his maximum, and he behaves below his optimum. And then he wrote, excitements, ideas, and efforts, in a word, are what carry us over the dam. He goes on in this excellent essay to point out that we have deep reservoirs of abundant energy that we habitually fail to use, and that by pushing past the first false feeling of fatigue, we will find an exhilarating second wind that will take us to our goals. This is why in studying the lives of the world's great men and women, we find they seem to be indefatigable. Work meant nothing to them, because what they were doing, where they were going, filled their entire worlds. Frequently, people find it difficult to establish a goal toward which to work. Realizing that we cannot be successful without a goal, here's a good way to solve the problem. Get off by yourself and where you can think without being disturbed. Then write on a sheet of paper a complete description of the person you would like to be and the things, in being this person, you would have. Once this has been done, start acting the part of the person you wish to become. Carry as often as you can a clear mental image of the person you want to be and begin to be that person. Soon this will become so knit with habit, it will lead you without fail to the goal you seek. You see, when you begin to do this, you're using your greatest power, your mind, and you will become what you think about. Some time ago, I was flying west and reading a copy of a television play by the 3-time Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Archibald MacLeish. The play was The Secret of Freedom. Suddenly I read a line that shook me to the soles of my feet. and for a long time I stared out of the window, thoroughly digesting the line I had just read. Here is that line. The only thing about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse. Think about that line until you know what it means. The only thing that sets us apart as human beings is our divine minds. Everything that means anything to us, our love of our families, our faith, our dreams, our talents and abilities, our religion, everything we know is connected to us solely through our minds. Our minds represent our hope and our future. Yet, as a rule, it is the last place the average person will turn to for help. Your mind contains riches beyond belief, but you must prospect this rich and largely unexplored continent. And the only way it can be prospected is by systematic study and systematic thinking. Your mind is like a muscle. It will develop only to the extent that you use it, no more. By devoting an hour a day to study, you're building your mind into a powerful and creative servant. If you only do this 5 days a week, it comes to 260 hours a year. That's 1,300 hours in 5 years, or the equivalent of 162 8-hour days devoted to study and research. Believe me, if you'll do this, in 5 years you'll be one of the most accomplished professionals in your field, and you'll have the world on a string. You will virtually be able to write your own ticket. The average man works 8 hours a day, about 50 weeks a year, for 40 years. That's time enough to become great at anything. The time will pass anyway. We might as well reap the rewards. So now, let's sum up and reduce the whole thing to a workable formula, a set of rules for this game of life that cannot fail to take us to where we wish to go. The first and most important thing to remember is the rule that controls our life. We become literally what we think about. This means that we must establish a worthwhile goal toward which to work, a goal that will occupy our minds most of the time. This goal should be written out or illustrated. We should look at it and restate our purpose every morning, every night, and as many times during the day as we can. We must fully understand, emotionally as well as intellectually, that whatever it is we set our heart upon will become real in our lives. We must also remember the law that lies as the basic foundation for all economics and personal well-being as well. Our rewards will be in exact proportion to our service, and if we want to get into the top 5% of the people, we must often cut ourselves away from the effects of our environment and become individuals with individual goals, individual thinking, individual actions. We must realize that our daily work contains more opportunities than we could develop in a lifetime, and that our job contains within itself the key to greatness, the road to everything we could possibly want in life for ourselves and our families. We must realize, too, that security can be found in one place only, inside of us. If it isn't there, it isn't anywhere. And the only road to security lies in doing what we do for a living, surpassingly well. And lastly, that we must become professionals at what we do, and that becoming a pro involves knowledge, planning, and working. Knowledge of what we sell, who we sell, and selling. Planning by establishing the goal, which automatically establishes our work pattern. The great salesman is like the great golfer. It looks easy the way he does it, because it is easy the way he does it. But it took time, dedication, and work in its accomplishment. Is it worth it? You bet it is. P.G. Hamilton once wrote, "Let's be different. A strong life is like that of a ship of war, which has its own place in the fleet and can share in its strength and discipline, but can also go forth alone to the solitude of the infinite sea. We ought to belong to society, to have our place in it, and yet be capable of a complete individual existence outside of it. And remember the strangest secret, will you? You are now, and you will become, what you think about." Thank you.
What's the
We are what we think about. We are what we. If we got if we understood this, type 1. If you understood this, type 1 in the comment section. If you understood this and it made sense to you, type 1. Fantastic. I need 2 people to summarize what they heard. just for the benefit of those who came in a bit late. Two people who would summarize. Precious Ibinadium, accept the unmute.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Can I proceed, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. So basically what I got from Nightingale's breakdown is he talked about determining the success of an individual, and that when you want to be successful, your success is determined from your ability to solve problems. So once you can solve problem, your degree of success has started building up. And how can you actually define your level of success? You have to make a decision from your mind that you want to attain a level of success and strive very much to stay long enough till you attain that. And the only way you can actually achieve success is by serving people. When you have the ability to serve, make a decision, stay long enough, and continue to serve people. He now said that the world we live in, we have 5% of people and we have 95% of people. Now, the 5% of people are actually the ones that are successful, while the 95 people are those ones that just live their life based on mediocrity, average, and they don't even care till they die. Now, he now says that, according to Newton's law of motion, that a body will just continue moving till an applied force acts on it, or a body will just stay there till an external force pushes this. So if you don't make a decision to either push your life, or you are going in the wrong decision, you don't make a decision to navigate your life to the right direction, you will continue that same way. He now talked about that how do you define success? That success is a progressive realization of your a worthy ideal. So you have to define what success means to you. So if you tell yourself, my success is I want to be making 1 million every month. Another person's success can be 20 million every month. It varies with everybody. So you have that ability to determine what you want. And how do you do that? Set an individual goal for yourself. Never conform to the norms. When you see everybody shaking head there, that place is not the right place for success, because that's what everybody is doing. So you cannot play average. And he also mentioned is that you need to only emulate people that have the results you want. Somebody does not have the results you want, and you are listening to the person. So tell yourself, this is my goal. This is what I want to achieve. The person talking to me, does he have the result I want? Then if the person says do this, then you do it, because that's the only way you can actually get success. And he said that we are what we think about. And that's why you need to actually think about positive energies. Think about things that the life you want, the kind of house you want, the kind of car you want, the kind of family you want. Because when you always think about problems, it's problems you keep seeing. Tell yourself this is what you want. He said when he talks about being focused, that footballers who play football, they don't play football because they just want to run around. There is a goalpost, so they know why they are going there to go and score. And a sheep will not leave the port just because he wants to go and be strolling around. There is a port, destination after destination, just as the way a plane will leave the airport and say, this is where I'm going to. So success comes to those who know what. Success comes to only those who read and build your capacity. So if you want to be successful, are you reading books? Are you building your capacity? Okay, I don't know how to invite. Are you reading books on invitation? I don't know how to close down. Are you reading books on closing down? And another thing he mentioned is that for you to be successful, he said that you have to first make a decision, be a professional. You understand? You should be a creator. Create things rather than compete. Because the only competition you have is actually against yourself. So be a creator, be innovative. And there is nothing like job security. He said that one is just a mirage. That security is only found inside of a person. Because when you see a man, you take everything away from him. For the fact that he can go back and recreate what he has done before, it shows that person is actually a success and has security. I was actually telling my friend, I said, see, even if all my teammates, they leave you and nobody leaves your business, if you can go back and rebuild your team again, That shows that you actually have a level of success because you have built your capacity. You are not scared of they support me, they support me. No. So you have to actually build yourself in such a way that you know your onions. When you are speaking to somebody, when you are closing somebody down, you're speaking from a place of authority. It is the person who that is even listening to you that will be sounding stupid because you know exactly what you want. And he said another thing is that we should do what we want for a living. So if you feel that this part of network marketing is going to give you your dream lifestyle, stick to it. Become a professional there. Learn what you can about the business, everything, down to maintenance, down to building the business, down to closing, inviting, prospecting. The 7 skills, have it as your master themes. It's not going to come to you 100%. You are growing. That's one thing. Anybody that is successful in this business, the thing doesn't, there is no elevator to success. You climbed your way to success. You understand? So you grow into it. And I was telling somebody, you can't do Yahoo Yahoo in this business. We don't explode. No, we grow into our success. And another thing is, we're in the business of selling mentorship. We don't sell products. We're in the business of selling mentorship, how we sell it, why we sell it. So write in details your goals, your achievements. You have to be plain. This is what I want for my life. Do you have a 1-year plan? Do you have a 3-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan? Because if you don't have that plan, you are just living life like a butterfly, mosquito. You just live life and you just go like that. You have to write your detailed, write it down. And that's another thing he actually said is that for you to set out goals, he said, go to your room quietly, write out the kind of lifestyle you want in the next 3 to 5 years. Now, when you have that, have a pictorial image of what you want to become. Do you want to be an eloquent speaker? Do you want to be a good communicator, orator? Do you want to impact in people's life? Just have an image of what you want in the next 5 years. Let that image be in your head every day. It says that you will become better than your folks or your contemporaries because your mind contains more than you can even imagine, especially when it comes to systematic studying and systematic thinking. So everything is just about mental muscle. The way you exercise your body to gain muscle, exercise your brain too. Because the problem is most people don't like to exercise their brain. You just keep collecting. As you're collecting from the cell meeting, look for somebody to teach and pour that knowledge into the person. Because if you're just collecting, you will just be like one stagnant water. You will stink. So look for some, as you're collecting from cell meetings, look for your downline, gather them. Okay, come. This is what we learned. Pour it into their head too. Let them learn and let them also do the same thing. That's where duplication actually comes in. And everything he actually said is set your goal right, emotionally understand the business. Stay in that section of 5% because 95%, those ones, they don't even know what they want to use their life to do. So you can't conform to everybody. Stay in that 5%, work your ass, do what you need to do professionally because it's professionals that actually make you stand out. You don't invite anyhow, you don't call anyhow, you don't close down anyhow, you don't promote anyhow. I know, yes, you will start off as being an error, making mistakes, but as you're making mistakes, go back, do review, recalibrate. Oh, I did it this way, it didn't work. Okay, you ask questions. My mentor, please, am I doing the right way? You come back again, you do it again. That's how professionals grow. Because the truth is, you keep growing till you die. There is no end to learning. So understand that fact that you must keep learning. And he says that you are what you think. So anything you want, if you keep thinking of, I was telling somebody, I said, see, when they say go for image, you say, no, you don't want to go for image. We went to image, now we came back. We know that the problem in Nigeria is affecting everybody, but I just found out that I'm so relaxed, I'm so calm, I'm not agitated. I'm not going to the bank, going naked. I'm not tearing my clothes and acting all crazy. Why? Because I already know that these things are going to happen. And this business is recession proof. So I'm bothered, but I'm not bothered like somebody who doesn't have hope. So that's why I just tell us, you have to actually feed your mind. In fact, it got yesterday, I even had to log off social media. I just beg all this negative news. I don't want to play positive things. If you're feeling down, the business, play QSG. Play presentation video, reset that your brain. Once you start want to go astray, come back again. So this training has actually been I know things have not been so easy, but I don't care because I know I'm in the right family, I'm in the right project, and I'm doing all it takes. I'm doing my best. So even if anybody say my team is collapsing, let them collapse now. So far you are learning and you're putting in the work, you will rebuild again. So my encouragement to everybody is don't miss cell meetings, take your SMOs and check this seriously. Just keep doing the work, keep showing up. It will definitely manifest as long as you are what you think. Thank you so much, sir.
Perfect. Wow. that was a deep one. You pretty much took enough time to summarize this, and I had wanted to bring up some other people, but maybe I'll just do a couple of just another lady to balance it out. Well done there, Precious. Well done. Mijama, quickly. Mijama, accept the unmute. So Precious has given us an elaborate summary. So you're going to give us a concise summary. So Ijoma.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Okay. Yeah, he actually did a good job with the summary. So I just had to point out some areas that I felt like hadn't been touched. So I'll just point at those ones. So I think the first thing here was he said that our rewards are a totality of our ability to serve. And then, of course, I also pointed out that each one of us is an architect of the structure fashioned by our years. So if you are, I think he talked about that when he was talking about, if you look at 5 years from before now, your life is equally going to, what your life is going to look like in the next 5 years if you repeat the same patterns. And this is the same thing we've been saying about, if you do the same thing over and over again, you can't expect a different result. So he said that within each of us lies two important ambitions. And the first ambition here is to serve importantly, and the second one is to gain financial freedom. And when he talked about that gaining financial freedom, I think he had gone far. And then he pointed out something about in any area you choose to gain financial freedom, there are two things important. If that industry or that business, tackles or it revolves around a dynamic economy, and then of course an exploding population. So as long as people are growing and growing and growing, and then of course that would actually have a positive impact on your ability to create financial independence through that kind of work. Okay, so another thing here is that the discouragement that we get most times come from lack of information. And I think Perry also touched on that a little bit. Precious, touched on that a little bit because of when he talked about the Emerge, people who did not go for Emerge Summit, they are feeling, many of them are actually scared and worried by the economic situation. But of course, because we have been able to build ourselves in the place of knowledge and empowered by information, so we're not scared of what's happening, or it's not new to us. So he said that so when you don't have lack of information, it's almost a case of you not having control over the situation. And he said another thing that is important is for you to amount to anything, you must learn to act as an individual. So acting as an individual means that you must have your own individual goal, your own individual vision, your own individual methods, not trying to compete with anybody. Sorry, that was a mistake. Not trying to compete with anybody or anything because you are in tune with yourself. Okay, so another thing is, so that means that we mostly succeed by not doing what the majority does, literally. So your goal should not be a goal that conforms to the majority. Your method should not be a method that conforms to the majority. And same thing with your vision will not always, or it shouldn't ideally conform with the majority. And then of course, success comes to those who have three things. So those, I think Perry has touched on that, but I just wanted to bullet point them. So sorry, Precious, I keep saying Perry. Precious has touched on that. And success comes to those who want decide to become professionals. Secondly, people who are big on planning. And then thirdly, people who get to work. And of course, with working, it says that many people have not been able to really use the maximum energy that they've been given. So he said something about energizing below your maximum usually sabotages most people. So we must push past that first level of fatigue. So while you are doing that activity, you hit your first level of tiredness, or like you begin to doubt that you must learn to push past, because it will always be there. but your ability to push past your first level of fatigue actually brings result, because it says that it helps you to carry a clear mental image of what you, but most people would have experienced that first level of fatigue. So the difference between you and them is your ability to push past it while they succumbed to it. And then he said that I think it was a quote by somebody that he quoted inside the video, that the only thing about a man that makes a man is his mind, and everything else you can find in a pig, in a dog, in a tree, but we have that mind that is constantly growing. So your mind contains riches beyond your belief, so you must build your mind through study and research. I think every other thing after this point was like him just re-summarizing the whole video in major, I think it was major 13 points or thereabout, but I didn't really bother to put them down. So I think he just ended it by saying that we must learn to try to be different all the time. I think that's my summary.
Fantastic. Super. Now, the two basic summaries are well enough to capture. For those who missed out, you were logged out from network, at least you would have gotten the summary from these two articulated partners that made the summary very concise. Let me see. Okay. Where do we have security? For those who are looking for financial security, this security, where do we have security? Put it down in the comment section. In ourselves. Unfortunately, people are looking for security outside, and that is why people listen, guys, as I begin to bring this to a close that will make sense to you. Some of you here are new people. Most of you are EAPs, emerging active partners. Some of you are active partners. And again, some of you are struggling in one way or another. And not some, everybody's struggling in one way or another. Everybody. But some people are making money now. They've plateaued. They can't make more than what they're making. They're making 800K, but then they've remained on that 800K, and they can't go to 1 million. They can't go to 1.5 million. They can't go to. So it's a struggle for them. Some have not made money at all. And month 1, month 2, month 3, no money. Month 4, no money. Month 6, this is the 7th month, this is the 8th month, no money. That's a different kind of struggle. Some people are struggling. Do I remain in this business? Do I go to another business? So everybody's struggling basically on their level. But here's the thing. The thing is this. You see, the whole summary of what L. Nightingale said is, we are the architects of our future. Now they decide what thing we want out of what we have seen and spoken. I will prove it to you today once and for all. For old partners, I'm going to put a seal on it. Sign it, take it to the bank. Lodge it there. Anytime you want to remove it from that bank, you're removing billions of dollars. For new people, don't worry, this may be the first time you're hearing about this. It might be a bit difficult for you to swallow it. It might be a bit difficult for you to accept it. But hang in there. Remain with us just for a while. And you begin to understand that this is a principle and it's a fact. What I'm about to put a seal on is that we are the architects of our future. And it has been made clear that only 5% of people, human beings, walk in that dimension. 95% of people believe that it is the environment that determines their success. It is the environment that shapes their future. 95%. And that is why 95% will always be serving the 5%, because the 95% believes that the environment is responsible for their future. Therefore, the environment has brought out this person, maybe a Jagaban, maybe an Atiku, maybe Kwakwanso. That is the person that will deliver us. Maybe an Obi. Excuse me. As I am, as far as I am alive on this earth, whether it is a Tinubu that enters power, an Atiku that enters power, an Obi that enters power, I will succeed. Let me say it again. Let me say it again. Whether it is a Tinubu that enters power in this our election, whether it's an Atiku, whether it's an Obi, whether it's a Kwakwanso, whether it's an interim government, whether it's an annulled, whoever it is, I will succeed beyond my wildest dreams. This world will bow to me, not Nigeria. The world will bow to me. Are you seeing my mentality? Some of you might be saying, oh, sir, it's easy for you. It's easy for you to say this because you're already succeeding. I am succeeding because I think like that. Because all the success, remember, all the success we have created in La Buena Vida has been in recession under Buhari. Come on now, you didn't get that. It didn't sink in, right? Let it sink in. All the success we've created in this business has been under what people might term the worst leadership in the history of Nigeria, the worst government, the worst economic policy, the worst experience in Nigeria, because we started in 2016. Buhari started in 2015. This is about the 8th year, and we have been creating success upon success upon success. Tinubu should enter, I will create success. Atiku should enter, I will continue to create success. Kwakwanso can enter, we will continue to create success. Peter Obi will enter, we will continue to create. Are you understanding what I'm saying? If you don't get it now. Because I'm of the breed of the 5% that run the world. And if you have opened your mind to absorb this, you will be part of the 5% that will run the world regardless. I started from nothing and I'm here. Started from nothing. And I'm here because of you remember when I was going through mess, I was owing 3 million. I began to read books. That was what helped me. Thank God I did not wallow in depression. I started reading books. How do successful people, how did they even become successful? I stopped reading novels. I stopped reading anything that is theoretical. I started reading autobiographies, biographies, books written by rich people. I just, in the midst of struggle, my mind started changing. My pocket was still the same. But that was what helped me. You see, everything I am today is as a result of my desires and what I want. And I agree. Now, this is a principle. We are the architects of our life. We are the architects of our future. We are the architects of our environment. You see, I want all of you to understand this today, please. I beg of you. Somebody, I'm going to put her on the spot. Snowy has been in the habit of cell meeting will be on, she won't be there. And I'll call her, what is your problem? Why are you not in the cell meeting? She will say, my network has been throwing me off and on. On the 12th of February, she said the same thing. This is 27th of February, she's saying the same thing. What does that tell you? She feels that the reason she's not in cell meeting is as a result of bad network. And guess what? Tomorrow, when she sees others making hundreds of millions from this business, as a result of the fact that they kept on showing up, she will blame it on the network. If I had had good network, I would have gone far, right? Right? If I had good network, I would have gone far, right? Right? Wrong. Oh yeah, this is not the first time happening, so I'm going to call you out in front of everybody knowing. Because you're an active partner, you're supposed to be a team lead. You're supposed to be a leader. And it's highly unacceptable. Not someone like you not understanding this. If every other person does not understand this, you should be the one to understand it. If by today you don't understand that what happens in our lives, we created, we have control. Oh, somebody saying, well, sir, it's true now. There's network wahala everywhere. No, now, give her some break. Oh, no, I won't. Let me tell you why. Number one, if it has been consistent, the network is a problem, Abby, what do? You move around your vicinity. It did not start today, all right? It didn't start today. It has been, I've been noticing it over and over and over again, so I'm going to deal with it today once and for all. If you're having a network issue, what do? Since you are the architect of your life, you are the architect of your future, the architect of your destiny, what do? You go out to your neighbor. My neighbor, which network do you use? I don't even use internet. Oh, you don't use it? I don't use internet. All these people. Oh, thank you very much. God bless you. You go to your next neighbor. My neighbor, how are you? I've been having some challenges. Please, which network do you use around here? That's okay. I was using Airtel here. It was messing me up. You know, I'm in the IT department. But I went to buy, I bought Globacom. It was rubbish. I bought MTN nonsense. But it was my cousin that came here 2 days ago. And he came with 9 Mobile. And he was browsing as if he was in America. My dear, I just could go buy 9 Mobile. That's what I've been using for the past 1 month. It's been serving me well. What do? You step out immediately the next day, go and buy 9 Mobile. Are you seeing that you are the orchestrator of your future? But when you continue to give the same silly excuses, oh, it's network, and you don't do anything about it, what does that say? It says that you are part of the 95% that will fail in life. So change it. It's not a curse. Change it. I'm telling you what's happening to you. And guess what? At the end of the day, what do you call it now? Report card will show. All right? So understand this and get it at the back of your head. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we are the architects of our future. I can't wait for Obi to come to give a good economic policy for me to take my business. God forbid. I can't. I create solutions. Even, let me shock you, even if in your area no network works, right? Even in your area, no network works. What do? Come on now. I've done this before when I was serving. I did not have money for cable TV. When I was serving in KB State, where we were, I was asking guys, how do they get cable TV? One guy told me that there's one antenna they buy, is a booster. It will connect cable reception from the neighbors and infuse it, and you get it. I was thinking, how can I get it? So what if no network is working? What do? Google is your friend. How to boost my internet access where there's low internet service? Google it. It will give you several options. It might tell you to buy a network booster. If you didn't know about network boosters, right? But because you're creative, but because you are an architect to your life, you begin to do a research, and then you find out what network booster, I never knew about it. And then you now Google network boosters, boost, da, 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 da. Then what do you do next? The next thing you now do, what the best network boosters in Nigeria. Then you see, you now say top 5 network boosters in Abuja. You see top 5. What do? You carry your ATM card, go and download it. Download it on your phone. So a 2-bar network will boom, will boost it to what? 4 bars. Let's say your subscription for that is you have the free version. After 30 days, you pay for it. What do? You go and save money. Is your tool. You save money, pay for it. Let's say it's 30,000 in a year. All right, you pay for it. Or somebody will say, but you see, paying for it is in dollars. I don't have dollar card. Now, Naira, this thing doesn't go online. That's why. What are you saying? You begin to call everybody. Please, do you have a dollar account? Please, I can give you money. Please, can you help me to pay for this? That's how creators think. Ambassador, please, I want to pay for something. Is your dollar card available? I will pay you the Naira equivalent. Can you help me pay for this one? And ladies and gentlemen, in 2 days, you have a network booster. You're in your house. You're using your network steady. You don't get cut off. But people will rather wait to give excuses so that people will have empathy and sympathy to them, and it will continue. Did you see what I said in the beginning? That the moment you continue to say things to defend your position, the moment you continue to say things to attract sympathy from people, even though it is correct, you are challenged. You have a challenge, and you need to tell people that you're going through bad times. You're going through bad times. And then you continue to tell them so that you get favor from them. Everybody, listen to me. Even though you are correct, but guess what? I guarantee you, you are calling those things. You are saying, yes, they are true. They are your right experiences, and you need favors from people. But because you continue to say it, it will continue to be a reality. Have you seen that today? Because anytime I ask her, she'll tell me, it's network. Every time I ask her, and it has continued. How many days, how many months later? It will continue to be her experience until she breaks it. She has become a living testimony. Unfortunately, it's not a good testimony. But Snowy has become a living testimony to the explanation given this morning. Unfortunately, and so I hope it's changed. I'm not that you change. I hope you begin to walk within 5%. That's my prayer for you. Am I communicating? That's my prayer for you. That you begin to walk with the 5%. So your talent will explode because the world is still waiting for you and you're still hiding under excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, Snow is an example. Learn from her mistakes. Do not make the mistakes that she has made, so that you don't get trapped. Now, as I say this with all sense of humility and all sense of responsibility. God has put all of you in my care by God's grace. Somehow you're under my lineage. Some of you are standing, some of you are leaders, some of you are ready to work, and some of you are still growing, some of you are still attempting to understand what we are about. But my assignment by God's grace is to help you the best way I can, to push you out, not to pamper you out. No, I'm sorry, guys. My assignment is not to pamper. The assignment of a mentor is not to pamper. The assignment of a mentor is to push, and to push you into your destiny, to push you into your abundance, to push you into your success. So don't expect me to always be nice, and no, your calling might be different. Mine is a bit different. All right? If I'm going to mentor you, and if I mentor you in this manner, that means you're going to have to mentor others in that manner. Do you know why? Because the human being always seeks the path of least resistance. That is what the human being wants. They want the path of least resistance. And do you know what? The honest truth is this. We're all going through one thing or another. We may not even have the money. It's a struggle, right? But how long do you want it to be when we continue to give excuses? Now, if you continue to doubt me, let me shock you. Just in case you have heard me for too long and you're no longer, you don't see me finish, right? Let me seal it. What I've just said now, all that we've learned this morning, I'm going to seal it. Because this week we're about to see one of the powerful tools that will come out. And this tool, it will explode your business next level. But the only people that this tool will work for are those 5%. And I want it to be part of the 5%. Excuse me. 5%, how many are we in the world? Please put it down before you begin to remove yourself from the 5%. Because how many are we in the world? Who knows? Google is your friend. Give me a figure. 7.8. I want you guys to do the calculation. What is 5% of 7 billion? No, 7.8 billion actually. What is 5% of 7.8 billion? Come on now, give me the numbers. 5% of 7.8 billion. 5% of 7.8 billion. I want you guys to give me the number. Okay, let me do it for you guys. Times 5%, 0.05. 7.8 billion. 5% of 7.8 billion. Guys, 390 million. Now, my brother, that's a lot of number to accommodate all of us here. We're only 482 people here. I'm excited, man. I'm super excited. We're 7.8 billion people on Earth, right? And 5% of it are going to be successful. 390 million people, Abi. And we're only 482. All of us can be part of the 5%. So why do you need to remove yourself? I don't know about you, but all of us can be part of the 5%. There's enough room. 390 million people. There is enough room. We're 200 million people, but across the whole world, 390 million people is not so much. Oh. It's not so much, but 479 of us here can be part of the 390 million people who are part of the 5%. Am I communicating, guys? Yeah, we can be. We can be. Do you understand? It's very simple. We can be by simply navigating from those who expect their circumstances to work for them. And now we're becoming those who will create the circumstances we desire. Okay? Now, I'm going to play you this video and put a seal on this training today that you might never make mistake on this again till you die.
Yeah, so like a Michael Jordan in basketball.
I want to show you something. You know, there are several of them that I could show you, several of these videos, but I'm going to show you one that is remarkable. Most people don't know about this. I mean, Kanye West, when he was nothing, was speaking his future every single day. Kanye West, if you watch his documentary, you'll understand. Everything he saw in his future, he mentioned it, he said it, and all of them have come to pass today. Yeah. It sounds spooky, right? All of these people. And the funny thing is, if they didn't capture these things on camera, or more, you will never believe it. If they didn't capture it on camera, you would never believe it. Kanye West was lucky. This person was lucky. They were lucky. There are few lucky people. You can be part of the lucky people. How do you become part of lucky people? Begin to create the future you want and speak it. Sonny Benson says, please, I don't know what you people are talking about, but my name is Sonny Benson from Calabar. I want to know when I will get my remaining product. I paid full of the student's package, but was given part of the product. Thank you. Sonny does not care of what you guys are talking about. He needs his product. Please, who is Sonny's leader? Help Sonny get all his products, please, I beg of you. I beg, before Sonny slaps somebody in this election period. Get Sonny his product, please. If the products are not available, tell him when he will get it. The leader of Sonny, I warn you, if he will Sonny, they get hot temper. Sonny has hot temper. Please, it's not a joking matter for Sonny. All these things one of the talk, that's not my headache. My money I used to start this business, give me my products, please. So whoever is Sonny Benson, Sonny Benson, the vex. So please, leader, make sure that Sonny Benson, please, if your leader is not here, go to him, tell him that Ambassador Nefo told him that you should make your products available, or tell you the status of the products. Sonny Benson, don't worry, this meeting is for everybody. We have the new, we have the old, we have the EAPs, we have very, very fresh new people, so it's okay. All right. So maybe Sonny hasn't yet understood why we're doing what we're doing, but I pray that that the Holy Spirit will open his eyes to see what we're doing here. It's way beyond the products. All right. The products are there, they will come. All right. The products will come. Don't bother yourselves too much about it. Is that why you started the business? All right. The products are effective. The products are marvelous. The products are absolutely mind-blowing. The products. All right. But honestly speaking, if it was because of the product I started the business, I could easily go and meet somebody who's doing the business. Please give me the products I want to buy. I want to use the products. Do you understand? The products is the fulcrum, is the engine, is the fuel. The product is the fuel of our business. But that's not what we're about. Do you understand? About building financial security. And the product sometimes, because there are so many people entering the business now, and there's a high demand on the products. So the availability is not as it was before. So, and all these things were fostered because of the election. I'm just trying to help you, Sonny. And a lot of things have gone down the drain with processing. The companies trying their best to make sure that products are coming in. But there's some people, some scrupulous elements frustrating the efforts of international companies in Nigeria, not just our company, international companies, as in frustrating them. You won't, in fact, if I told you, I can't tell you, all right, because some of you will put me out of context, so I'm not going to say that. But if you know what is happening, if you know, some of you have an idea of what I'm saying. If you know what international companies are suffering in Nigeria now, you know that it's by God's grace that our company is still alive. Honestly speaking, you know that it is God himself. Companies have collapsed now. Billion-dollar companies in Nigeria, they've collapsed and gone. The frustration not be here. You know, get part two. And this is not that they have paid all the dues that needs to be paid. But because the corruption has entered too deep in Nigeria, no. You understand that God is behind us. You see, it's when you understand what's happening, you'll be the one to say, do you know what? The remaining product, please, company, keep it. I don't want it again. I mean, if you understand it. But what we do is, some people they don't care. It's their money, and which is correct. It's their money, they need to get the product. So just be a bit patient. The products will come, and once they come, you will get it. It is in back order. Do you understand? As far as Nigeria is concerned. Cameroon is having some issues with products as well, but it's being dealt with. That one is because of the instability caused by the political class in Cameroon, right? But Nigeria's zone is corruption, all right? So hopefully we're praying that a level-headed leader comes in, someone like Obi comes in, and the game will change for us drastically. But even if it doesn't, it will still happen because the company is doing something that to curb that nonsense. Okay. That being said, I'm going to play this video quickly. All right. Chinyere, how did you know this? Chinyere said the money used in importing 7 containers is used in clearing 1. Now, no be me we're talking about, yeah, but just for you to have an idea. She's even putting it mildly. Is it Chinyere Obiora? Wait, Chinyere, hold on, Obiora. Are you? Okay, no, I don't know Chinyere Obiora, but I believe you're a lady, right? Yeah, the money you used to import 7 containers, you use that same money to clear 1 container. Chinyere, I worked there for 4 years. Aha, you see? You see? No, now tell me how the company won't take survive. Let me say it again before I close. The money you use to import 7 containers, you use that same amount to clear 1 container. How do you want to declare profit? If not because our chairman is the consular, the consular to Philippines, aimglobal chairman in Nigeria is the consular general to the Philippines, we would have been out of business. I guarantee you. We don't join Longreach. But you see, these were the things that we put into perspective before we chose Empowered Consumerism aimglobal as a company, because we didn't want a company that could not stand the test of time. And God has been helping us ever since. And guess what? Things have gone bad, Abi. What do you think will happen next? Things will begin to get better. But we're not going to wait until things get better. We will create the better environment for ourselves. Okay? And thank God that there's something that's going cooking behind the scene, and you guys you understand that this company is just a blessing from God. Our company is a blessing from God, right? So for those who are new, don't worry, your products will be available. Don't overwhelm yourself too much about that. My prayer for you is that you understand the vision of the house and you plug in. But some of you are saying, I still don't agree. Is my environment that will determine whether I'm going to be successful or not? Listen to this video. It will blow your mind. Who is this person? This is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, the almighty Tiger Woods, at the age of 14. Listen, they even shock me, sir. Listen.
Maybe sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball.
Golf's quite often seen as an upper class white game. Do you ever feel that at all?
Oh, every day. Every time I go to a major country club, always feel it. You can always sense it. People are always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. You always feel it. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. Oh well.
Do you feel in some ways that you can help change that?
Since I'm black, it might be even bigger than Jack Nicklaus. I might be even bigger than him. I may be sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball, or something like that. Be sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball.
Golf's quite often seen as an upper class white game. Do you ever feel that at all?
Oh, every day. Every time I go to a major country club, always feel it. You can always sense it. People are always staring at you. What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. You always feel it. Why are you here? You're not supposed to be here. Oh well.
Do you feel in some ways that you can help change that?
Since I'm black, it might be even bigger than Jack Nicklaus. I might be even bigger than him. I may be sort of like a Michael Jordan in basketball, or something like that.
Now that is scary, right? That was scary, right? is to show you the power of the mind. Whatever the mind conceives, you can achieve. The mind, right at the age of 14, guys, not at the age of 48. At the age of 14. But excuse me, who would be in a worse situation than him? You're a black boy attempting to play the game of white elites. You are a black boy, not black man, black boy, attempting to compete in a game filled with white elite, not white small boys, white elites. And he always gets that vibe. Who are you looking for here? Who are you? Who do you think you are? What are you looking for? Do you know how traumatic that can be? And most people will run away. The 95% will give excuses. The 95% will say, those people they are rejecting me. I don't know. I can't stand their midst. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. Let me just go and be playing football. I can't stand my prospects. I can't stand. How can he talk to me like that? And you quit. Can you imagine he lied to me and you quit? Can you imagine my leader spoke to me and you quit? He saw it. I might even be bigger than Michael Jordan of basketball. And ladies and gentlemen, he became bigger in the game of what? It's not just in the game. It's not just in the game of golf, in the game of life. He became world class, not American class, world class. Are you seeing that he's in the 5%? Of all golfers, he's in the 5%. Of all network marketers, we are going to be in the 5%. Am I communicating? Of all network marketing builders, we are going to be in the 5%. But it starts from where it starts. So I'm going to show you the new tool is out. The completion of the tool will be this week. There will be a corresponding video to this tool I'm about to show you. Because we have 5% CBOs, 5% connected business owners, 5% of us, 5% of CBOs in the world will come from here. Not from here. 5% out of the 5% of all CBOs in the world, it will come from here, 450 of us. If you're an active partner, if you're not an active partner yet, please write. But today you've understood how harmful it is when you give excuses. Harmful to you, not harmful to me. I don't give excuses, all right? If I'm your leader, I don't give excuses. Please don't give excuses. It will harm your destiny. It will harm your future. Don't do it. Don't entertain it. Get annoyed towards anything that will make you give excuses. Stop giving excuses, please. It is harming you. You don't even know. Day by day, it is harming you. It is harming you. You don't even know. It is harming you. It's harming you because it can't bleed. But your future is bleeding. You don't know. Your future is bleeding. Simple excuses. Why are you not in the group, in the cell meeting? You get, I don't have network. Oh, my phone was off. Oh, I did not have battery charger. Every meeting you keep saying that. Every meeting you keep saying that. Fashion design job, or go and start selling ice cream where they don't give excuses. But if you are here, be here. Stop giving excuses. You are harming your future. Stop harming your future. It's not your upline, it's not me, it is your future. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you the new prospecting tool. Now, this is a prospecting tool. It is not a presentation tool. And it's the first time we're going to do this. It took me a while, but now that this one is out, the next one is for the comprehensive 20 minutes presentation video. So how to use this is very simple. You don't some of you are going to use this video and you run an ad on it, right? It's okay. There will be different ways to use the video. You could use it to run an ad because it is a prospecting video. But you'll get most of your results if you personalize the video. Use it properly the way we're going to write. I'm going to bring out a script on how to use the prospecting video. Use it effectively that way. Send it to the people you know, send it to people on your contact list, all right? And then don't broadcast it, because some of you might want to go very fast, and then you broadcast it, you lose the flair. Send it. You send it on your WhatsApp status as one of the ways to use it. It's okay. But the script, if you want to use it on people you know, your cold market, your warm market and your hot market, there's a script for it. The idea is that people will see the video and they say, please, I want to know more. Then you now send them the 20 minutes video. You see, it's a prospecting video. If you send it to someone and they're like, I'm not interested. So you've known that this person's mind is closed, so you don't need them. But when they say, yeah, I want to know more, it makes your work easy. Anybody that says, I want to know more, there's a higher percentage that the person might be interested in the business because they want to know more. And we have the results, so they will want to know more. And when you send them a 20 minutes video or you present to them, even if the 20 minutes video is not available yet, with this prospecting video, if they say they want to know more, you can send them the current video we're using, or you can present to them in less than 20 minutes. Or you can get your upline to present to them physically with a booklet. Do you understand? All right, any which was, but that is a prelude. After that is presentation. Now, after that, you could also invite them for a big presentation, any which is, but it's a prospecting video. The video you would only get the video if you are part of the team and to be sent to you through your leader. All right, only leaders will have the video, and then it will be sent down to your team appropriately. But let me show you the video. It's powerful, it's amazing, and I'm super excited about this. It's a game changer for our business this year. It's a game changer. Where is it now? All right, there you go. All right, so please make sure that you use it appropriately the way it is going to be taught. I'm going to teach on how to use that video. I mean, there will be a script on it. But first of all, let's check out the video.
Hello, this is Ambassador Nefuisamai, the Vision King. You just saw 7 years of success and growth. 7 years of helping ordinary people like me become successful global business owners. If you missed partnering with us the past 7 years, I'm excited to announce that you might be selected as one of the 30 new pioneers for the next 6 months expansion. As a pioneer, you will learn how to make money while working your full-time job, travel on all-expense-paid vacations, raise capital for your projects without using the banks, help the less privileged, create financial retirement plan for your family, empower others to succeed. If you want to make the next 6 months of your life to be exceptional, or you know someone you want to recommend, then get back to the person that gave you this video for a 20 minutes information that will blow your mind. To be considered for the position of a pioneer, kindly go through the information that will be sent to you. Only 30 people will be selected, and I wish you the best of luck.
Yep. That is it. That is it. Yeah. So it's going to be mind blowing, but you see, this tool will be useless if you are not part of 5%. So some of you will wait for the tool to do the work. Do you understand? That's 95% of people that will do that. You see, oh, once you play that video, oh, the magic will happen and people will be joining you and following you. It is just a tool. The same way a gun is a tool. If you put a gun in the hand of a general, he can effectively shoot down 6 targets with 6 bullets. Put the same tool in the hand of an amateur, a gunner, and he would attempt to shoot 1 target with 6 bullets and he will not get one. Let me say it again. Every time I bring out a tool, I say this, and I'm going to say it again. The tool is inconsequential. The tool is nothing in the hands of the amateur. The tool is powerful in the hand of a professional. Put a handgun in the hand of a general, he will target 6 targets, tautology number. You know what I mean? He will lay eyes on 6 targets and he will get all with 6 bullets. But give the same gun to an amateur, he will target 6 people, shoot the gun, and he will not get 1 target. The general will get 6 targets with 6 bullets. The amateur will not get any target with 6 bullets, even though he's targeting. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the same tool is useless in the hand of the amateur. The same tool is powerful in the hand of a general. Are you a general or are you an amateur? If you're an amateur, then begin to all right, I'm back. New beginners, brand ambassadors. Yeah, we'll continue our class. So if you're an amateur, please begin to push so that you learn as much so you become a professional. And how do you do that? Become an active partner. Do the needful, become an active partner, be onboarded, and your next target is become a Kingsman. All right, that is what makes you a professional, so that when you handle a gun, you become effective with it. So that when you handle a tool, you become effective with it. Now, what is a gun in our business? These are tools like what I just showed you. Very soon, the presentation tool will also come out. And some of you will now say, hey, presentation tool, this one, I like this one better. I like that one better. It is not the presentation tool. It is the person that uses the presentation tool that matters. The tool is a tool. So if you're good, you use the tool to your advantage. If you're not good, the tool will be meaningless and useless to you. So once you understand this, please, guys, I'm saying this up front. The tool don't make the magic. We make the magic with the tool. The tools don't make the magic. We create the magic with the tools. The tools do not create the success. We create success using the tools. I hope somebody's hearing me now. If you are the type that you are waiting for, oh, let me just send this tool so everybody will begin to follow me, because there is a powerful tool, I will send it out. Everybody will want to sign up under me. If you are like that, what you're simply saying is you're part of the 95% who will fail in life. And that cannot be from here. That cannot be you. That cannot be me. All of us here is a mandate. We must be part of the 5%. After all, what will they live for? What are we living for? I mean, what are we living for? Is it to eat and die and nobody remembers us? Or is it to be impactful in our world, in our life, for generations to come, to see and be affected by our impact while we were alive? May we not die insignificant. May all of us, when we die empty. We leave out everything within us. All the skills, all the power, all the ideas in us, we're going to exhaust it on earth before we die. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're 40, you're 50, you're 60, you're 12, you're 20, you're 19, whatever age you are, we cannot die with all the potentials in us. God forbid. The only way we can live out our potential is if we shift, just shift to the 5%. What do the 5%, what is the significant part of 5%? The mentality. The mentality of the 5% states that I control my life. The mentality of the 95% says, no, life controls me. That's simple. Mentality of the 5% say, I influence my life. Mentality of the 95% say, life influences me. Mentality of the 5% says, I am going to be a professional. Mentality of the 95% says, help me now. Mentality of the 5% says, I am a leader. Mentality of the 95% says, I will follow until I die. There's nothing wrong following until you become a leader. But there's everything wrong following, and you don't want to be a leader. You remain 95%. But there's nothing wrong with being 95% now. But there's everything wrong in posterity and eternity if you die part of 95%. Because when that person dies, nobody remembers the person. And that cannot be you. I've had somebody died, I shared this testimony before, somebody died in my school and they were asking me, this person died? I said, who? The person died. Who's the person? Person died now. Show me the picture. I can't, this department, that department, this one, he wears this kind of, can I see his picture? I should know, the way you people are describing him, I should know him. And lo and behold, they brought his picture. I said, but I don't know this person. And I called another person, guy, do you remember this guy? I don't remember him. Do you remember this guy? I don't remember him. I asked 9 people from my set. Nobody remembers him. God forbid. God forbid. Kobe Bryant died, the world stopped. Michael Jackson died, the world stopped. When you die, who will stop? Who will know that power left the earth? Who will know that substance left this earth? Who will know that no, deity left the earth? Who will know no, substance from a different dimension left us? That is my last word for you this morning. May we not live an empty life. May we live a powerful life. And it starts from our, do you know that success opens doors for more success? Therefore, all I've been saying is to push us from 95% to 5%. That's all I'm saying. All I'm doing is to push our mental state from 95% of struggling, complaining, giving excuses, no goals, just being confused in life, and pushing you by God's special grace to become the 5% of those who have a defined goal, those who have said enough is enough. I'm going to accomplish all I've desired to accomplish on earth. No matter my age, I will do what it takes and I will succeed. That is what I'm building into you. Not to come and sell products, not to come and make money alone. Money will come. But after you make money, go and watch Quincy Jones. Go and watch him. Quincy Jones is a multi-millionaire. Quincy Jones discovered Michael Jackson. Quincy Jones discovered Oprah Winfrey. Quincy Jones did a movie with Steven Spielberg. This is somebody who was in jazz music. Quincy Jones was a phenomenon. But at the age of 80, they asked him, what's the most important thing in life? He said, family, and good health. Family and good health. In other words, all this money, what would they pursue? It's good though, because it will help us have a better life if we can access better healthcare. But at the end of the day, it's family. This is family, right? So it's not the money. Why I'm saying this is, yeah, money will come, but money, the agenda is to be fruitful and to multiply. To be fruitful and to multiply. So it's not just to make money. Are you multiplying? Who are you building? Quincy Jones is 89, 90 years now. But did you see how many people he brought up? Michael Jackson, the Levy brothers, Ray Charles, he worked with Ray Charles, Ice-T, all right? Even in recent times, he's pouring his essence into these people, sometimes free of charge. So he's fruitful and he multiplied himself. Dr. Dre said, without you, Quincy Jones, I will not be where I am today. He was fruitful, prosperous, and that is why most of the people he grew up with are dead today. Most of the people that Quincy Jones grew up with are dead. Quincy Jones is still alive, had one heart attack, he's still alive. He had anorexic embolism, stroke in the brain. He survived it because he is within mandate to be fruitful and multiply. He's always looking for how to help people, how to empower. He made Michael Jackson become a multi-billionaire. He made Oprah Winfrey become the same Quincy Jones. He's an enigma. He's part of the 5% because he fell in line with the mandate. It's not complicated, guys. Don't overthink it. The mandate is very simple. Be fruitful and multiply, subdue the earth. That's the mandate. Don't begin to be spooky about it. Don't bother yourself. Be fruitful and multiply. This business will help us to be fruitful and multiply. And you will live a ripe old age that your family will be grateful of you. God bless you guys. Today is still Monday. They've not called the results. So please, all our activities remain online for now until after they call the result of the election. Do not unnecessarily expose yourself to harm. Be safe for now. Let's give it till March 1st. All right, activities can effectively start March 1st. Hopefully, they'll call the full result between today and tomorrow. And March 1st, we can start our normal activities. Is that okay? Let's be safe. Let's be wise. There's most likely going to be a little bit of uproar and protest if they don't announce P2B as the winner. I'm sensing that. So I don't want you to expose yourself unnecessarily. Be in a safe place. Let's run our business. Thank God that our business can run online. So let's effectively run our business online. If you're running your business online, please be professional about it, I beg of you. All right, use very proper lighting like this lighting now. It took me a while to get all these things. If you don't have it, just mimic it, okay? Don't just be casual, be professional. If you want to run business online, even if you don't have the kind of lighting I have, nice lighting effects and background, it's okay. All right, but at least be nice, be good looking, wear very nice where if you want to present online, all right, don't be like a shaft. Don't be, because you're speaking, that is the only way we can penetrate. Are you seeing? Zoom is a tool, but how are you using it? Zoom is a tool, but how are you using it? So if we're going to use this Zoom, let us use it effectively and properly. If you're going to invite you during Zoom presentation, if you're the one inviting the presenter or introducing the presenter, don't say because I'm going to introduce the presenter, you go and do it in your kitchen. No, now, why would you do that? Or you go and do it in a very bad. Let me tell you what some people are doing. Watch this. Watch this. If I enter your Zoom presentation, I see something like this. Amadio Haga. And the person, you're good day, everybody. This is our Emerge meeting. I want to introduce the Speaker of the House. Yes, can you hear me? Can you see me? Amadio Haga. But some of you do that. And the person who logged in, like, oh my goodness, who are these people? Oh, and he tunes off. He's on Instagram while his laptop is tuned in. And the next thing, you see his name there. People that invited him will see his name. Okay, the guy attended, but the guy has zoned off. How can you start an introduction like that? Amadio Hagakpogo. Go and check the interpretation, you see. May Amadio not Bogoku. So don't do that nonsense. Prepare yourself. You were informed before time. Wear something, even if you don't wear trousers, you're wearing shorts. Nobody's seeing your short, but wear something presentable. Get your light on. Do not be too close to the background. Leave some space. You see, I can't even touch my background. Are you seeing? I left some space. Let me show you. Watch this. Because I have good lighting, you won't notice that I'm close to the background now. All right. Some of you, if I'm close to the background, all right, let me show you. Teaching you now. Okay. If I'm close to the background, are you seeing the shadow? The shadow will be obvious, all right? But if I'm away from the background, I'm going to eliminate the shadow a little bit. All right, I'm away from the background. So this miracle happens like that. So this is one light. I'm using two lights. Okay. So that's the main light. That's the assistant light. So I'm giving you guys an update on this. So be very careful. Any of the active leaders, you're going to be selected to run presentation. I cannot enter your presentation and see anything less than excellence. I can't enter your presentation and see anything less than excellence. Please. Very important. If we miss it, let's correct it. We may not always be perfect. We may not always get it right all the time. But let's strive to be excellent. Strive because we're going to meet different kind of people, and we don't want to chase them away because we're not intentional in what we're doing. God bless you guys. See you guys tomorrow morning. Beginner cell meeting starts by 7 o'clock. Active partners meeting start by 7:45. Make sure that you attend on time. This is the time. So remember, we're the architects of our future. Your life is 100 over 100. My life is 100 over 100. I'm super excited, and I believe that you are. And I hope you got value this morning. Let's move from 95% to 5%, guys. God bless you. Over to you, Ambassador Sam.